Thank you for joining us.
Namaste.
So, good morning, or afternoon, or evening. Um, and I look so funny with my interesting light on my body. But today I thought we would have a practice where we focus a bit on the shoulders and about how the shoulders support us and where do the shoulders attach in the rest of the body. And if you happen to have a little ball, it could be a tennis ball, um, to put under your shoulder blade, that would be great. If not, don't worry about it. You can roll a towel and put it under there. I just want to give some kind of texture underneath to elevate a little bit about the shoulder blade so we can play around with movement. We're only going to use that right at the beginning so that we can get some awareness. So we'll play with building poses from finding how the shoulder attaches. And it's not, this is such a nice kind of practice where you have somebody that can put their hand on you and give you that sensation of how the shoulder actually attaches all the way down into your sacrum and your sit bone, believe it or not. So it's very deep wings when you think about it. So we're just trying to create some awareness in the practice to give us an ability to, use our shoulders well and not uh, put too much weight in them or put too much stress on them. So we'll, of course, have modifications, so do what you can. So let's begin. So I'm going to take a littler ball, but if you had a tennis ball, it's perfect for that. But I think even by putting the edge of a blanket or a towel underneath a shoulder blade, yeah, I can feel this. That's a good place to be. You can do it with something like that. But I'm just going to take a ball since I have a bunch of them in my house. And we're just going to start on one shoulder. Just lay down with the feet on the floor, knees bent. Of course, it'll put us a little bit off our complete balance. But if you have that ball or blanket under the shoulder, see if you can just find those edges of your shoulder blade. So I'm just moving around the ball since I can. So there's that upper edge that goes up at the top level here, and usually you can kind of feel this with your opposite hand. And then it's like a triangle shape. And then there's this edge of it, so down underneath your armpit here. And then there's the edge that's closer in to the spine. So, and that's probably where a lot of us, I could stay here forever because it's like a lot of us feel the tension. But with a ball, I can roll around these edges of the shoulder blade and just, massage those areas to kind of just loosen the uh, loosen the fascia or the muscle tissue around there. The other thing with the ball is as I press into this ball, I can also start to do like figure eights with this arm a little bit. Or I can just bring the elbow in and do smaller movements just to get a little bit more movement into the shoulder. And I'm going to show you a little bit the arm circle movement from the Bartinia fundamentals after we just do this loosening up. So you're just wanting to loosen up this shoulder blade. The other thing we'll do is we're going to keep working on one shoulder blade so you can feel the difference afterwards and then notice what's happening with your other shoulder blade. So you've probably been doing a little bit of movement here. whatever you're using underneath to press into. And then take away whatever prop you have. And then just notice when you put your arms down, what do you feel? Now, generally, what happens for me is I feel as if my shoulder blade's sort of sliding out and down, like it feels more on the ground. That might not be the case for you, but that's how I'm feeling. And so I can talk to the camera. I'm going to turn around and then show you about the arm circle. So I'm going to drop my knees towards you, and then it's the opposite arm. So I have this diagonal going on. And to do the arm circle, you're wanting to look at your fingers and slowly touch the floor as you cross over your body, leaving the other side pretty stable. And then you reach as far as you can go, but try to keep that hand on the floor. And then you're going to start to rotate through the wrist and see how far you can stretch way up on that diagonal with the knee spin. And follow it with your fingers. And this is where you need room, of course. And then you cross the body again and bring it all the way around. And really, this is a nice movement to go slow. You can also go the other direction, following as best you can with the eyes, but keeping your head on the floor so you don't muscle into the neck. Now, there may be a spot where you feel more of a stretch, and you can do just a little bit of movements in that spot. And then just go in whatever direction you're going in for another little rotation. So all the bones are curved, so you're wanting to feel how everything's curved. And if I was there, I'd be giving you feedback through your arm. Probably I'd have my hand on your shoulder blade. That's something else you can do too, is place the opposite hand on the shoulder blade. It's just so nice to have somebody next to you to do it. And then just come back and roll to your side and just notice what you notice in that shoulder. Like I'm feeling more connection along my back down through my waist as well. Maybe you don't, but I can feel that all that tissue has spread out. And I feel like I have a lot more length. So we'll switch to the other side. So I'll start this way and then I'll move again. So find your ball, or I thought about how this could be done on a block too. These are a little bit hard, but you could find a block and put it under your shoulder blade and then move the arm around that. So I probably should have showed you that in the first place, is that this is an option as well. So you just play around with defining, binding the edges of the shoulder blade. So there's the edge that's lower, there's the edge under or the armpit area, there's the top edge that's more at the top of the back of the shoulders there, and just start to do a little bit of movement with your arm. Because again, this, like your thigh socket, is the joint that has all that three-dimensional movement to it. And so we'll just do this for another minute or 30 seconds. See if you've gotten to all those edges. If you haven't missed a place out. And I know I could do this forever. So my desire is to sit there and do it even longer. So then maybe I'll do the arm circle from this direction and you can see the other side of it. So I'm going to drop my knees away from me, and this hand is going to start to, I'm going to follow it with my eyes by keeping the other side of my body on the floor. And then it's crossing my body, coming up, and then bringing it around. Now, if you've got shoulder issues, you can certainly modify this and not go through the full circle. It may mean that you just do part of this. So you're just trying your best to bring those fingertips to the floor. Use your eyes to follow the hand without efforting through the head and neck. You're just allowing that natural gravity rotation here. And you can go in the opposite direction. And like I said, if you can't do the full range, you can just stay in a range that you can do and just play with that back and forth and see what happens. So you're trying as best as you can to touch the floor. It's almost like walking the fingers on the floor. But then at some point you have to start to rotate the hand and the wrist. Keep the fingers on the floor, connecting to that shoulder blade. And then just come around to laying on the floor and just notice your shoulder blades for a second. And then if you can bring your arms together, it's like taking your shirt off and putting it on. We're going to do the arm circle where we're bringing the hands towards the body, cross them over. And it's really nice when you get up to the level of your shoulders to really press through those elbows. And then you slowly are taking that shirt off, reaching over the top. Again, if you have to modify the movement, modify the movement. Don't do as large of a range of movement. And then when you come back down again, cross the other way. And you're trying to reach those fingers to the floor. They may not get there, but that's the idea. For me, they get there about here at shoulder level, and then I can keep them on the floor when I go overhead. Now with your arms up at the top, go the opposite way, where you cross over here and then bring them down to the side of the body and big circles up. It's kind of like you're making snow angels a little bit. And then cross the other side. Bring them on down. And then just take a minute to notice your arms and your shoulders and your back on the floor. And then just slowly inhale your arms to the ceiling. And you can do a little bit of extending up. And can you feel where that goes into the body as you just extend up a little bit? It should take you down deeper into the sides of the spine and give you a little bit of rotation. And then bring the arms back down, and perhaps together just sort of lift them up and then just drop the shoulders down, and then extend them up and drop the shoulders down. And another extend through the fingers, lifting the shoulder blades off the floor, and then drop them down. And then from there, see what happens as you slowly bring the arms overhead. Can you feel how the lower part of your torso is starting to engage your side body? And you feel there's a deeper connection. It's not just your arms are connected right here into the shoulder. They go down deeper. And then exhale, bring the arms down a little bit. And then do that again. Inhale the arms up. And exhale down. One more inhale up. Exhale down. And when you come up again, see if you can hold on to your elbows, and then just, if you can bring them down, that's great. If you need to lift them up a little bit, just really press into those elbows and see if you can get more stretch through the front, through the armpits. And perhaps feel how that connects you into the side body, gives you length in the front body. And then change your elbow crossover and do that again. And then release that and roll to your side and come up into all fours. Because this is very common in yoga to be in all fours. And, you know, we focus on this rounding the spine, but can we really feel how when we press our hands, we're connected into the shoulders? And when you press those hands, can you feel that the shoulders connect more down the body so that you have this large wingspan? So that when you round into cat, you really press through those hands to get that stretch through the body. And then when you inhale and go the other way, you keep pressing through the arms and feeling that connection the other direction. And inhale, rounding. And exhale. Inhale, rounding into cat stretch. And exhale, rounding into dog tilt in the pelvis. One more time. Inhale, rounding. Or I should say exhale. And then inhale, coming up. And then come back into neutral spine. And just see if you can feel, you know, how you're balanced over the hands. And then we're going to go into downward dog. So I want you to walk your hands about one hand length forward. And then see if you can imagine when you're coming up, you're just pressing into those hands and into the shoulder blades, and see if you can feel more connection into the back body. So as you tuck the toes under, see if you can really slowly press through the hands as you start to engage the legs. See if you can lengthen through the head and neck. Just notice how much you feel, or whether you feel it at all. Are you feeling that you can only feel part of the shoulder? Do you feel like you're dumping into the shoulders? And just notice if you can feel that hand connection into the shoulder blade, which then goes into along the spine, down into that tailbone. And then bend the knees, and then we'll use Adho Mukha Vrasana in the same way. So as you press through the hands, so you're pressing the sit bones back to the heels, see if you can feel how the hands connect to the shoulder blades, connect to the sides of the spine, into the tailbone here, into the sacrum. Inhale, coming back up to all fours. Again, see if you can feel when you press the hands how it goes into the shoulder blades. Then walk them hand forward and length forward, tuck the toes under, and then see as if you can then again press with the hands into the shoulder blades as the shoulder blades lift towards the back body, all the way up to the sacrum, into the tailbone. And then slowly start to walk the hands towards the feet. You can come up onto your fingertips if that works better for you. And then just have a little shake here. And then we'll do an alternative way to come up here. So extend those arms forward and see if you can really lift up the whole body, just using that connection into the arms. And then exhale, the arms down, and standing in the center of your mat, do a little bit of Tadasana with the arms. And see if you can just slowly start to lift those arms up. See if you feel more engagement along the spine, down into that sacrum and that tailbone. And then we're just gonna, you can bring the hands facing forward and just bring them out to the side. And then what happens? What do you feel there? And unfortunately, this is where a lot of people might be elevating their shoulders, and then just bring them down to your side. And then we're gonna lift them the other way. So you're gonna start by lifting them up. Now, can you, as you do this, imagine that it's all the way down into that sacrum and that tailbone. As you lift them up, and then you'll rotate those palms to go up all the way. Bring them forward like we did to start with, all the way down. We'll just do one more round of that, trying to at least feel a bit of awareness or what's required in your body to do this. So again, we'll inhale the arms up all the way to the top, and then you start to rotate through the palms. So you slowly bring them out shoulder height, all the way down to your side. Another inhale, so they rise up through the side body, all the way up overhead, palms face each other, and then they exhale, coming down. And then we'll try a little practice with using the arms in some such way as we go into some standing poses. So I've already been in the standing poses. So bring the legs out wide and bring the left foot toe to heel, right foot heel to toe. So what if we you start to inhale those arms up again. Exhale them out to the side. And as we exhale them to shoulder height, then start to bring the body down. Maybe there's more of an effortless feel to that top arm being extended up to the ceiling. I don't know, maybe not. And then let go of the arms. Slowly bring them up, shoulder height, and all the way up, and all the way down. Turn the feet into parallel. And then the right foot toe to heel, left foot heel to toe. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, palms coming down, shoulder height. Then you start to connect into the torso, bring it to the side, and then bring the arms back to the shoulder level. As I say, maybe there's a sense of lightness in the arms, or maybe there's not. Maybe there's a sense of more effort. And then to come up, you inhale, the arms are up to your shoulder height. Inhale them overhead. Bring the feet into parallel. And exhale, arms down. I hadn't thought about going in that way, but yeah, maybe we'll alter it slightly. So we'll go into that pose again, but we'll start with the arms. So we'll slowly bring the arms up. Once the arms are overhead, we'll change the feet position. So is there something about that feels more effortless because we've really brought the energy up instead of down? And then again, exhale the arms down to shoulder height, coming down, bringing the arms through shoulder level into your Tita Trikonasana. Inhale the arms up, bring them both up into the center, feet back, and then exhale the arms down. So how is that different than the other way? And does it give you more information in your body in some way? And then again, for the second side, we'll inhale those arms up overhead, and then we'll pivot the feet, and then we'll exhale shoulder height, come down into Tita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. Inhale, coming up to shoulder height, and as we bring the feet parallel again, inhale the arms overhead, and then exhale down. And a couple of breaths here. We'll do one more standing pose and see how that goes with doing the arms this way. See what happens. I can feel that anytime you lift the arms overhead, it starts to pump your heart up a little bit. So we're going to inhale the arms up overhead, and then we're going to pivot the feet like before. And this time we are going to bend the front leg. And then what happens as we bring the arms down? Shoulder height for warrior 2. And then as we stay in the bend and inhale the arms up and straighten the legs coming through, the feet are parallel. Keeping the arms there for the second side, then pivot the feet to the other way. And then as you're bending that front foot, you're going to then bring the arms down. Inhale, slowly come up, feet parallel, inhale, arms up. And then exhale the arms down. Great. Let's come down to sitting. And if you need to sit on something, you can have a cushion, a block, but we'll go ahead and do Gomukhasana. That's such a great shoulder opening, and we can just lay with that. But there's a couple of ways you can sit. If your hips aren't feeling very open, you can just sit, on a block, and you could sit with easy cross legs. If you're okay with your hips, you can come into the full pose, which I'll show you from behind, and then I'll turn around. In all fours, I'm going to lift my right leg and bring it behind my left. And then I'm going to sit back. I can sit on the foot. You may want to sit on a block. So I've got my left knee in front. And anytime, whatever knee's in front, it's the opposite arm that goes up. But how we'll start this pose is we'll take the same arm as leg, and then we'll bring it back. So bring it back to your tailbone and sacrum, and then slowly slide it up, if you can, towards your shoulder blades. You may not get there. And then if you want to, with the opposite hand, you can bring your fingers to open the front space of the shoulder. And then we'll inhale, the opposite arm up, bend at the elbow. And we're trying to find the fingers, but if we don't, it's okay. Even if we don't find the fingers, you might still feel a certain freedom in your shoulders right now. Or maybe not. Couple of breaths here. And try not to distort the back or the neck. And then slowly release the arms and bring them down. And then to come out, you just come forward and just lift that back leg up. And then I'm in all fours, and I'm going to lift the opposite knee up and bring it over and sit back. Again, if you're sitting in simple crossed legs, please feel free to change whichever crossover you have. And now, again, starting with the same arm as knee that's on top, you bring it behind you. Start low, so bring it to your sacrum. And bring the back of your hand there. And then start to slide it up your back towards the shoulder blades. You may not get there. You can take your other hand in front of that shoulder, just reminding it to roll open, to have space along the collarbone. And then take the opposite arm, inhale it up, bend at the elbow, and you're trying to find the fingers. You may not. And a couple of breaths here. And then slowly release the arms, and release the legs. And then go into whichever Shavasana you would like. You can put your feet up the chair, feet up the wall. You can lay in regular Shavasana, or you can have your knees bent if you need to, and just come down there. And then as you settle into whatever pose you're in, see if you can feel your tailbone, sacrum just widening out. Muscles along the spine. Widen out behind the waist. Widen out behind the rib cage. And then coming up to the shoulder blade. See if you can imagine in your shoulder blade that you have a sponge. So there's a sponge between your shoulder blade and your back. And then see if you can imagine those sponges filling up with water, gently, slowly. And see if you can feel your collarbones widening, your throat softening. Face softening back to your ears and the back of the head. And slowly begin to reawaken your body, extending through your fingers and toes, your hands, and maybe you need to give yourself a really big stretch. Slowly come up to sitting. Remember, your shoulders can really free up and give you lots of movement through your arms and your hands, but they really originate all the way down. They're connected all the way down into that sacrum and that tailbone. So you have a huge wingspan. Thank you for watching and joining us, and namaste.